Good morning, students. Today, once again, we are going to learn our remaining lesson, Uncle Kane at the Wicket. In our previous period, we have learned how Uncle Kane bore a startling resemblance to the great cricketer Bruce Hallam, even the bald patch on the crown of his head also, and because of that, Uncle Kane was mistaken for Bruce Hallam and he had to play cricket match at Lucknow. Now, Uncle Kane was ready to enter on the pitch for batting because the Gomati Cricketing Association won the toss and chose the batting. That is why Uncle Kane was entering on the pitch to bat. The first ball he received was short pitched and he was able to deal with it in tennis fashion, sending it to the mid wicket boundary. The first ball which Uncle Ken received from the bowler was short pitched. Short pitched means टेनिस खेळत असताना ज्या वेळेस बॉलचा एक टेबलवर टप्पा पडत असतो त्या पद्धतीने पिचवर बॉलचा एक टप्पा पडून बॉल खूप स्पीडने बाउन्स होतो आणि त्या पद्धतीचा पहिला बॉल अंकल केनने रिसीव केला अँड ही वॉज अ टेनिस प्लेयर बिकॉज ऑफ दॅट ही वॉज एबल टू डील ही वॉज एबल टू हिट दॅट बॉल विथ इन टेनिस फॅशन and sending it to the mid wicket boundary. Do you know mid wicket boundary means what? See, we shall see. Mid wicket area means what? Square leg and mid on leg. The area which is between the square leg and mid on leg is called mid wicket area. आणि ह्या mid wicket area मधून पहा इथे एक रेड लाईन दाखवली आहे पहा मी पहा दिस एरिया इज कॉल्ड मिड विकेट एरिया आणि ह्या मिड विकेट एरियामधून जी बाउंड्री मारली जाते म्हणजे फोर मारला जातो त्या फोरला काय म्हटलं जातं मिड विकेट बाउंड्री अँड लाईक दिस अंकल केन गॉट 4 runs on his first ball. That is why all the crowd cheered loudly and Uncle Ken got 4 runs. But the next ball hit Uncle Ken on the pad right now on the leg of Uncle Ken. Uncle Ken was right in front of his wicket and should have been given out leg before wicket. It means LBW. But the umpire hesitated to raise his finger. After all, hundreds of people had paid good money to see only and only the play of Bruce Hallam, and it would have been a shame to disappoint them. Umpire hesitated. Umpire was confused to raise his finger because hundreds of people had paid good money to see the play of Bruce Hallam, and he thought that it would have been a shameful to disappoint the people. Not out, said the umpire, and the match was started once again. The third ball took the edge of Uncle Ken's bat and went through the slips. तिसरा बॉल अंकल केनच्या बॅटच्या कॉर्नरवर लागला आणि कॅच जाणार होती पण कॅच सुटली आणि बॉल बाउंड्रीवर जाऊन पोहोचला. इट मीन्स अंकल केन हॅड अनदर 4 runs to his name. Lovely shot! Exclaimed an elderly gentleman in the pavilion. A classic shot, said another. What a lovely shot! Exclaimed an elderly gentleman in the pavilion. Pavilion means large tent. And a classic shot, it means higher in rank, superior, or which is not common, uncommon shot, said another spectator. And the ball, where was it? the ball reached the boundary and Uncle Ken had another 4 runs to his name. It means first 4 runs, and now these 4 runs, it means Uncle Ken got 8 runs. Then it was over, and the other batsman had to face the bowling. He took a run off the first ball and called for a second run to the Uncle K. The other batsman took 1 run and he wanted to take another run, but Uncle Ken thought 1 run was more than enough. Why go running up and down the wicket like a madman? However, when the batsman started running, when the other batsman started running, Uncle Ken could not refuse to take a run, and he was halfway down the pitch when a fielder hit the wicket. Uncle Ken was halfway down the pitch and a fielder hit the wicket of Uncle Ken. And at the end, Uncle Ken was run out. Uncle Ken eventually got out while running. While taking a run, Uncle Ken got out. There could be no doubt about it this time, and that time umpire could not do anything for the Uncle Ken, it means for the Bruce Hallam. Finally, Uncle Ken got out. He returned to the pavilion to the sympathetic applause of the crowd. All the people were feeling sad, feeling bad for the Uncle Ken because of the other batsman. It all had happened. All the crowd of people were telling, were discussing like this, and all the crowd were applauding to the Uncle Ken. They were clapping for the play of Uncle Ken. Not his fault, said elderly gentleman. The other batsman shouldn't have tried to take 2 runs. There wasn't a run there. तिथे एकच रन होती. दुसरी रन त्या बॅट्समनने घ्यायला नव्हती पाहिजे. And this was not the fault of Uncle Ken, means Bruce Hallam. It was the other batsman's fault. After that, Uncle Ken enjoyed a hearty tiffin taken at noon. It means lunch, and then feeling that he had done enough running around the sun, he left the stadium and took a tanga to Aunt Emily's house in the cantonment. He was just in time for the second lunch taken at 1 o'clock with Aunt Emily's family. When he went at Aunt Emily's house, that time he was just in the time for the second lunch, the lunch which is taken at 1 o'clock. And it was presumed at the stadium that Bruce Hallam had left early to catch the train to Allahabad, where he was expected to play in another charity match. And the people who were at the stadium, they were thinking what the Bruce Hallam had left early. For what? To catch the train to Allahabad. Why? Because he was expected to play in another charity match at Allahabad. Aunt Emily, a forceful woman. Forceful means what? People who can be persuaded other to do any work. कुठलंही काम करण्यासाठी कन्व्हिन्स करण्याची ॲबिलिटी असणारी. अँड ऑल्सो एक्सप्रेसिंग ओपिनियन स्ट्रॉंगली, स्वतःचे मत स्पष्टपणे मांडणारी अशी कोण होती? आंट एमिली, अ फोर्सफुल वुमन. शी फेड अंकल केन फॉर अ वीक, एक आठवड्यासाठी अंकल केनचा खूप छान पाहुणचार केला. अँड देन पुट हिम टू वर्क लुकिंग आफ्टर द स्मॉल बॉईज ऑफ हर स्कूल, आणि त्यानंतर तिच्या शाळेतील जी मुले होती त्यांचा सांभाळ करण्याचं काम अंकल केनला आंट एमिलीने सांगितलं. It was several months before he was able to save up enough money to buy a ticket and return to Granny's place. काही महिन्यांमध्येच अंकल केनने परत ग्रॅनीकडे जाण्यासाठी तिकीट विकत घेण्यासाठी पैसे कमावले. But he had satisfaction of knowing that he had helped the great Bruce Hallam to add 8 runs to his grand total. He had satisfaction because he had helped the great Bruce Hallam to add 8 runs to his grand total. The scorebook of the Gomati Cricketing Association has recorded this feat for all time. Bruce Hallam ran out on 8 runs. The Gomati team lost that match, but as Uncle Kane would readily admit, where would we be without losers? It means what? If a person who never made a mistake, never tried anything new, जर आपण चुका केल्याच नाहीत किंवा जर आपण आपल्या आयुष्यामध्ये कधी हारलोच नाहीत तर आपण जिंकू कसे? म्हणजेच जर आपल्या आयुष्यामध्ये आपल्याकडून चुकाच झाल्या नाही तर आपल्याकडनं नवीन गोष्टी कशा घडून येतील? This thing Uncle Ken readily admit. Admit means to accept. Though the Gomati team lost that match,